Hey everyone, welcome back to AGT Time. Tonight we're talking about season 16 quarterfinals 2, and we have special guests tonight. But first, Cody Patterson here with
along with Jay Bach and our two special guests. In fact, we've got Sara Fergenson and Jess Sterling. Yay!
Hi.
welcome.
Thank
So
you
excited
for
to be here.
having us.
We're not used to having a bunch of guests, so that would kind of caught me off guard, even though I was prepared for it.
Oh my God, who are these people that have magically stumbled in here?
We surprised you. We were waiting backstage with our tractors ready to pull the curtain up.
We're also not used to having girls on our podcast, so that caught us off guard too. So,
Shy.
yes.
Well, hopefully we can be like Shufflelution and all work together. They are half boys, half girls, it seems. Something like that.
Well, it's great to have you on the podcast tonight. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah, so Jess and I have our own podcast. It's called Earmuffs for the Kiddos, Shit 90s Shows Taught Me. And we do a lot of 90s content. So we're super excited to be on. We've had Cody on for some of our Boy Meets World podcasts. I think my name I know my name is Sara. I don't think I said that before, but I'm pretty sure I know. I've gotten entranced by a lot of these dances, so I think I got hypnotized a little bit. But I am a newbie to America's Got Talent, as in I've never seen it before, and I've never watched an episode of this ever before, like not even this season. So I kind of went in blind, but I am an expert of judging people that have much more talent than I do. So I figured that this was the perfect job for me. But in all seriousness, I have followed these four judges for a really long time. I watched Simon in the first few American Idol seasons. I watched all of Project Runway with Heidi, Modern Family with Sophia, and Deal or No Deal with Howie. So I felt like right at home.
That's great. Yeah, it's good that you're already familiar with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Jess?
I am Jess Sterling. Obviously, I co-host with Sara. So my history with AGT. So I used to watch the show like way back when, like probably the first couple seasons. I definitely remember watching. I remember like the sand guy, like he was big with the sand dart, that type of stuff. I remember being like entranced by it. And then of course I fell off. Like I don't remember the last season I actually watched of the show until more recently. Just by happenstance, we were hanging out. My dad starts telling me about this guy who like swallows things and regurgitates them. And so of course he had to show us like 5 videos on this man. Horrifying to watch, by the way. He has like no front teeth for good reason. But really funny and really like got me thinking about the show again, because I was like, oh yeah, I remember that show had wild acts like that you wouldn't see anywhere else, because there's not competitions for people who can regurgitate light bulbs, you know. So then I watched one audition episode of this season, and then of course I watched the most recent this episode we're going to talk about. And like 2 little things to note about me is you'll probably recognize that one, I love magic. Very big magic fan, huge magic fan. I also like beatboxers. We didn't have any of those, kind of disappointing. I love beatboxing, but we did have some magic, which I'm always a huge fan of, because I just am like, how did they do it? But I'm really excited to be here and talk about these acts.
Oh, good. There was a beatboxer in auditions that played the recorder and beatboxed at the same time.
I need to go look that clip up now. Yeah, I'm gonna love that.
Yeah, he was something special, but it's great you're talking about the professional regurgitator, because he's pretty much a legend around AGT. He didn't win, but what he does is very unique. No one else can really do it. His Scottish accent, his missing teeth. He wears a jacket with no shirt. So he's a very memorable character from AGT.
Yeah, he was very interesting to watch, and it was like everything he did, he bumped it up a level. Like, people, if you have not seen this guy, he literally screwed a bolt onto a screw inside of his stomach. Go watch it. It's fascinating. It's also disgusting. So if you're squeamish, Fair warning.
I am so grateful I didn't have to watch anything gross because I would have literally fainted.
Yeah, tonight you got some pretty tame acts. There was nothing
Mhm.
gross. There was the one guy that our danger act. We had that tonight. So we'll talk about him in a little while. Was that tonight or was that last week? That was last week,
I think
Jay.
that was last week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sorry about that. Sorry about that. You're probably like, wait, I didn't see that. No, that was last week that we had the danger act where the guy almost sawed his face off.
Well, now I want to go back and watch that. I thought you were talking about like the positive impact movement. I was like, oh, I guess I could see throwing basketball hoops as being somewhat dangerous. Okay.
Yeah. So real quick before we get started, we're going to do what we call the business. It's kind of we give out our information. Jay, do you want to go ahead and take care of that?
Sure. Yeah. You can find us on all the platforms that we're on. It's at AGT Time Pod. That's also our email address, agttimepod@gmail.com. And if you want to see us, like look at our faces, you want to check us out on YouTube. I'm sure searching up the AGT Time Pod is the place to do that. So we are in fact streaming live on YouTube. You could teleport yourself back in time and see us live if you happen to be there, or you can tune in Thursday evenings shortly after 9-8 Central Time and see us here. So that's the business. Are we ready to talk some acts?
Yeah, you ladies ready to talk some acts?
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready.
Yes. Jay does a fantastic job at describing the acts and what they did. So
I very much appreciated your descriptions, Jay. I really did. I thought they were wonderful.
Well,
yeah, the weeks that he's off, we really miss that because I'm not very good at it, and he's fantastic at it. So
it takes me usually well longer than the 2 hours of the episode to record it and stop it and pause it and write down all the business. But well, let's jump in with the first act of the night. It was T3. They sang Olivia Rodrigo's "Good for You." I'm gonna guess, Cody, this one is not on your playlist. Is that correct?
Yeah. I didn't know who Olivia Rodrigo was. Do you all know who Olivia Rodrigo is?
I had no idea.
Absolutely, I know who Olivia Rodrigo is. This song is huge. It's a huge song.
Is it currently
huge? Excuse me?
It's currently huge?
Oh, yeah. It's currently very, very big. So Olivia Rodrigo is from High School Musical, the musical, the series, which is such a hard thing to say. And she just came out with an album, Sour, which blew up with the little Gen Zers. They love her. So she sang that that driver's license song that was popular.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a huge
SNL
song right now.
That.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're going to sing Olivia Rodrigo's "Good for You." They're going to show off their beautiful tenor voices. They do a little bit of like some a cappella band sounding doo-doo-doos in the background. I don't think that this song hit as much as their first song that they did. They sang "Into the Unknown" from Frozen 2. I fully expected them to do "Lost in the Woods" from Frozen 2, like the 80s power ballad, and I thought that would like totally be their style, but they went for this song instead, which the Gen Zers love, I hear.
They love it. They say that Olivia Rodrigo is the voice of their generation.
Oh my. Okay.
Wow.
So
okay.
Sarah, this was your introduction to America's Got Talent. How did this act land with you?
I felt like this is what I would have expected from America's Got Talent. There's always like a cappella groups that are in these types of shows. I thought that was fine. Like I enjoyed it. So it wasn't anything like super shocking. And the fact that they did something like a very trendy, like relevant song wasn't surprising either.
Okay. Yeah. I think that checks out. Jess, do you have thoughts on T3?
Yeah. Firstly, I really hated the zigzag illusion that was going on in the background. I found it extremely distracting and just like almost giving me motion sickness. So I really did not enjoy that. I would have preferred, I mean, some of the judges say this, but like, I didn't like the song for them. I could tell they're talented. Like obviously they're very talented, but I just felt like they were totally drowned out in this song, and that like picking a super new relevant song was a wrong choice. Like I feel like go with an old classic, go with something that fits better in the acapella style. Because when I heard, because obviously they do a whole background video on them and show their audition again and all of that stuff, and they have this huge social media following on TikTok. So I thought they would do something very bare bones again. And it was kind of like too produced for me.
Yeah, I think that's something we see a lot, not just like in AGT in general, but like this specific episode, it felt like a lot of things were overproduced. Cody, I'm pretty sure you have something to say about the production and the light value.
Yeah, we will get to the lighting here in the next few acts, because the lighting in the first half of the episode was atrocious. So we'll talk about that here in the next couple of acts. I thought their harmonies were really, really good. It was very similar to what they had in their auditions. It's not knowing this song, I wasn't really into it too much because I couldn't really follow along. But I kind of had in my notes here that they had a Panic at the Disco or a Queen harmonization going on at the beginning. It sounded very much like Panic at the Disco, and then later on in the song they harmonized more like Queen, which I really liked. But I couldn't follow along with the songs. The harmonies were good. Didn't care for the song.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that you say that, because it was actually co-produced. Good For You was co-produced by and inspired by Paramore's Misery Business, which is so funny because that's very like in with what you're saying. Like Paramore is very that sound. So it's funny that you picked that up.
Nice. Awesome. That's great to have that insight.
Good ear, Cody, and good bringing the facts, Sarah. That's great.
Well, it's like, if you want me to talk relevant today's pop music, I'm here for it. I know it.
And here I was thinking it was just going to be all 90s references. But Judge's comments, Howie said, your harmonies are seamless. Heidi said, I prefer when you sing a cappella. I wish I could hear your voices better. Sophia said, I feel like it's something I shouldn't like, but suddenly then I love it. But I liked the first song better. Simon said, I'm in agreement with Heidi. Great idea. Horrible track. I think you blew it. So not great praise from the judges on that one. I ultimately felt like it was kind of a forgettable song, forgettable act, especially by the end of the night. It's like, they were so long ago, and there was no wow moment with T3. Any additional thoughts on them before we move on?
I have one thing to say, and this is the reason these types of shows drive me like slightly bonkers. When they announce, it's vote for these people, and they put the thing on the screen and that whole thing, the cringy, cheesy stuff they do during that moment, I can't. I have to look away. There was a guy dancing. He was like doing like a shuffle. It was like, just like calm down, just smile at the camera and everything will be okay. You don't have to move around for 20 minutes.
Back in the olden days, in older seasons, you had to actually call in to a number and they would hold up.
They would hold up the numbers. Yes, yeah. I remember that. And I was like, just calm down. Like, just smile. What are you doing?
Well, so Jess, one thing that I do for these episodes is I track the amount of time that they're on screen. So I track the introduction package, their actual performance, and then the time that they talk to the judges. And that shows us, what they want to do is maximize that time. We interviewed a comedian from a couple seasons ago, and he said one of the things that he was trying to do was get the most screen time that he can in order to get votes. So doing all those crazy things is beneficial for him, because they're,
I suppose they're getting the camera on them. And also I was surprised that, we'll get to it later with the results, but it's like they have a huge social media following. So I just would have assumed that they would do well with America's votes,
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so too. But and I guess, we'll talk about results now. Like they eventually end up in the 6, 7, 8 slot, and they end up being the one group that isn't put through to the semis. So I was really kind of sad to see them go. They were on my drafted team, and I thought they were kind of money in the bank, but it did not pay out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of tracks also with our power rankings, because I put them as the number fifth, ranked them number fifth. Jay, you ranked them seventh, and then you all combined ranked them about 9.5.
We were not impressed.
So
that's okay.
I thought it was interesting who they ultimately went up against at the end, because I felt like they're their most comparable acts. And if I had to choose between the two of them, my preference was the other act.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt as though if I had to choose between the two of them, which ultimately we had to do, I felt like the team that moved forward, that should have moved forward.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fair. And, I think at the end of the day, this ended up kind of being a middle of the pack group, and they just missed the bubble. So,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Second act of the night, then let's talk Duke Tech Crew. This is one that Cody had drafted onto his team. It's a dance crew. They're from South Korea, if I recall. Is that right?
Sounds right. Yep.
And they're going to come out. They're wearing like bright orange cowboy outfits.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Certainly were.
I don't know if these words are going to mean anything to you ladies, but I said it's like Jabberwockies meets Kenichi Iniba, who
I think one of those is Star Wars, maybe.
It's a dance crew.
They do sound like Star Wars names, don't they?
I heard Jabberwocky and I was like, that sounds like a Star Wars thing. Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't think it is.
Jabberwockies are a dance crew, and Kenichi won. What season did he win? 10, 9?
Yeah,
and he did some I don't know, some dance moves that were a little I don't know, surprising,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like mind bending in how he was able to make himself do those things. So their best move of the night was when they were all in a single file line. So you only see the guy in front, halfway back or near the back, there's a guy who's laying on the floor horizontally. And then, I'm assuming the guy in front and behind him lift that dancer and make it look like he's levitating. So there was that move, and that one was pretty memorable, I would say. Other than that, I didn't find a lot memorable about this particular performance. Jess, are you a dancer? Do you have anything to say about Duke Tech Crew?
Oh, I'm certainly not a dancer, but I really liked them. I did agree that I thought that they kind of, and obviously I've never seen them perform before, but I felt like obviously it's important to be dressing similar enough to where the synchronicity looks good. You know what I mean? Like the movement all looks together, but I think that they kind of got lost behind the orange a little bit, but I really enjoyed watching them. I thought the moves were fantastic. They were so in sync, which is super important in a large group like this. And I loved the levitating move. That I thought was so cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed them. The ending, I think ending with a strong move is important. And so ending with that move was really good because it's the last thing in your mind. But I could have done with I didn't mind the orange. The orange is a fine color, but I think they needed to change it up so that maybe one person doesn't have sleeves and another person, you know what I mean? Change it up so that you could differentiate between them just a little bit.
Yeah. Sarah, what are your thoughts on Duke Tech Crew?
So, number one, I want to say that to me, the cowboy outfits made perfect sense because the song that they were dancing to is Montero, or Call Me By Your Name by Lil Nas X. And Lil Nas X sang Old Town Road, which was a huge song. And it was it was supposed to be a country song, essentially. So I wasn't confused by the cowboy outfits, surprisingly so. I thought they were cool. I just felt like it was a lot. It was definitely a lot. There was a lot going on. It was hard to focus on one particular thing. It was very orange. I am anti-orange, so I wasn't loving that. But I felt like it was cool, and I thought it was impressive. But I'm not sure it's my kind of act, but it was good.
Good, not great, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
All right, Cody, what do you think of Duke Tech Crew?
So I have in my notes here that it looks like they combined like the Texas two-step meet K-pop dance, K-dance, with the cowboy outfits. I like them. They're really good. Their precision's really good. Y'all have commented on that. This is kind of where the lighting starts getting to me. I'm the production guy of the podcast, so I like talking about the production and what's going on the stage. But the lighting was just terrible. It almost looked like there were some auras. They were glowing. It's like they had the pink lights and the blue lights on that was clashing with the orange outfits. It was very, very difficult at times to see them, and especially when they all came together, they all just kind of blended. You could kind of see the dancing, but it was very, very, very difficult, and it almost hurt my eyes the way the lighting was not good.
I wonder how much of that is their fault. Like, did they choose those costumes? Did they choose those colors? Did they choose the lighting scheme? Like,
I feel like that would be on production, that they're not going to give up lighting control to the act. I wouldn't think.
Yes. Right. I agree. I think they would choose the costuming, and then someone that's in charge of lighting, like, okay, now I need to pick lighting that kind of goes with those colors.
And I assume they're limited in their costumes a bit as well. You know what I mean? Like, don't wear stripes or something that's gonna like be really awful.
Quite possibly.
I definitely feel like they have to have some creative pull though. Like, I feel as though they have to say like, oh, we're envisioning orange and this in the background, because to me it adds a lot to your act, the lighting and the background and the props and obviously the costumes. So I would be very shocked to see or to hear that they didn't have a lot of creative input with that sort of a thing.
And I guess I'm kind of curious. I'd be curious to talk to an act who's been on about that part of the production and how much control they have or don't have and all that. Judge's comments. Heidi said, I really like you guys because I can see how much you rehearsed. Sophia said it was a little too orange for me, but the dancing was spectacular. Simon said, we lost you and your personalities in that performance. Maybe a music change halfway through would have been good. And Howie said, I loved it. Not enough orange. The synchronicity was great. So Howie was much higher on Duke Tech Crew than the other judges. I'm going to go in the too much orange camp myself.
I hate orange.
Would it have been better if they'd worn different colors?
Like all of them in a different color?
Right.
No, I think that they need to have something that goes together. Like same thing with Shufflelution, right? Like I think you need to have, I think even Shufflelution, I'd have to go back and look at their outfits, but I feel like they had different like lengths of pants and sleeves and stuff, but at least the same color.
Different,
that's what I prefer.
Yeah. No, it's not the fact that they're all in orange. It's the fact that like they're all in orange. The background is orange. The lighting is orange. Like their props are orange.
Everything is orange.
It's that. Like that's what makes it bad. The look of it.
So Sarah, does that mean that you're not a fan of orange juice?
No, I like orange juice. Okay, this is the deal. Like I'm in interior design and there was like a period of 3 years where orange was like the hot color. So I spent like a ton of time picking out orange fabrics and I never want to look at it again. That's the long and the short of it. So it's a personal problem.
Okay. Well, on that note, I'm ready to talk about Johnny Showcase. If you guys are ready to go on this.
Let's go.
So much to say.
So much to say, but like absolutely nothing to say at all.
Yeah.
Jess, maybe you could answer this question. If your hair was the shape of an octopus and your legs were all tentacle, I don't even remember how it went.
That's because it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so let me just set this up a little bit. Johnny Showcase, he's like a comedy singer act. He's got him, his spiritual advisor, and then the two ladies as backup singers, and apparently a whole band with him tonight, with saxophone and trumpet and organ, whatever, the whole bit.
He brought the funk, Jay. He brought the funk.
It was funky. It was funky. Yeah. I think I don't do drugs. I think that if I did do drugs, I would have enjoyed this a lot more.
Here's the thing. You don't need to do drugs because it felt like you were on drugs watching this act.
Yeah.
It's all you needed was this act. Literally my notes, I wrote 40-year-old entertainer. This is like his intro package. 40-year-old entertainer. He's in Philly. This guy. What kind of act even is this? This guy looks like he's a 70s porn actor. Like I didn't understand what I was going to be watching before the act started, which I feel like is like kind of an indictment. Like, I was thinking maybe it's a variety show, you know, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of music, the whole thing. And he comes out and he starts singing. And I was like, okay, is that what this is? And they're singing some octopus song. And not for nothing, but some of them like, we're not singing that well. And I was just like, what is going on? What is this act? It was so much.
It was a lot. Yeah, that's one way to put it.
This act messed me up so badly that I like dreamt about octopuses the next day. I'm not even joking. And I woke up and I kept thinking about octopuses. I'm like, why? And like, if you watch Big Brother, they had Otev and I was convinced he was an octopus.
Looked like an octopus.
But he wasn't. Like, it messed me up as if I was on the same shrooms that he was taking right before his act. Like, I mean, I'm like the cleanest person there is, but I think to enjoy this, it's like, when I went to go see Cats on Broadway, I had a freaking blast. And that's because I got drunk before I went. And before you go to Johnny Showcase's show, you have to do something, anything to fully be immersed in it. But it was a time. It was a time and a half, actually.
Cats or Johnny Showcase?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I was referring to Johnny Showcase, but I mean, if you ever want to go see Cats, it's better if you have a little help.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have lyrics here. Jess, you don't need to answer this question, but the lyrics that I wrote down was, if your hair was the shape of an octopus and your legs were all tentacles, would I kiss you the same way? I think it'd make a difference. So that's...
Well, I would certainly think it would make a difference if you're kissing an octopus.
Well, it's just the shape of an octopus and her legs are tentacles.
Also, does anybody else think that Johnny Showcase looks a bit like a messed up Bob Odenkirk? Like, I can't be the only one on the planet that sees this.
I don't know who Bob Odenkirk is.
Oh, he's in like Better Call Saul. He plays Saul Goodman. He's a famous actor.
Mr.
Okay.
Show.
Yeah, I've seen him. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta squint to see it.
I could probably see that if I could see that. Yes. I think that Bob Odenkirk could dress up as Johnny Showcase.
I think it might depend how many drugs you've been doing.
Fair enough. Yeah. I just didn't understand what this act was. I did think the 2 X's were like kind of harsh because they're in the middle of an act. I mean, they're not in auditions. I didn't even realize you could like X somebody after auditions. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that was kind of harsh, but I was also kind of here for it. Like the drama in me, I was like, ooh, spicy.
So if you get like 4 X's, do you have to stop even though you're in quarterfinals?
Yeah. So in auditions, if you get 4 X's, you stop, you're done. You're out. If you get 4 X's in a live show, then your performance stops, but America can still vote you through.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
It is America's Got Talent. So
yep. So at this point, it's all America's vote.
Yeah, let's talk judges' comments quick. Sophia said, I feel like you guys lost your essence tonight. It didn't click like last time. Sophia said it was horrific. Absolutely horrific. The song was horrible. Howie said,
what does the octopus have to do with anything? That was my favorite thing she said.
Howie said I didn't get the joke. And Heidi said, I loved it. I love it all. I'm on overdrive. There's so much going on. It's hilarious. So Heidi was all in on Johnny Showcase. The other 3 were all the way out. And I'm afraid that America felt the same way because Johnny Showcase did not go through. So, you know, if 25% of America's in, that's not enough. Not for this show.
America didn't feel the funk.
So I will say I watched this episode 3 times. So I watch it live I watch it live when it's on Tuesday night. I watch it again to take my notes. Then I watched it a 3rd time in order to get all my timing. So the third time that I watched this, I paid way more attention to it. And I didn't get it the first 2 times. But the third time when I watched it on Hulu, I was like, I think I get it. I think I kind of get what the song is. And the whole point is it's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be just bonkers crazy all over the place. The tagline is it doesn't make a difference. I think that's the tagline in the song. So I think the whole thing is whatever he's doing, it doesn't make a difference.
Cody, I think this is called Stockholm Syndrome. You've watched it too many times.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
The octopus got to you, bro.
Yeah, it was those hairy armpits sucking you right in.
Did you catch the hairy armpits?
Oh, did I ever?
Of the girls? Yes. Yeah.
They were hairy. In Good for you,
auditions,
man. You can do it. Do it.
In auditions, when they did his intro package, one of my first notes when he came out was, I think I'm really going to like this act. And I did. His audition was great. So something went off the rails.
Was his audition like more comedy based?
It was. Yeah. Go find his
tracks,
audition because his. Do you have the lyrics there, Jay? Do you have them handy?
Not that handy. No, it's something about it's we can be sensual but not sexual. Talking about a relationship that he has with someone. So it's. It's also weird. I think Johnny Showcase, like if he were going to have a tagline, it'd be let your freak flag fly, right? Like you do you, whatever you is, he's cool with it, man.
Yeah,
like it's and yeah, if your hair was the shape of an octopus, would it make a difference? And I think we're going to say no, it wouldn't make a difference to Johnny Showcase. Let your freak flag fly.
He gives me big energy. What's that movie? That's just like your opinion, man. Like he gives me like that energy. The Big Lebowski. That's who he reminds me of.
Except way flashier. Like
in a flashy way. Yeah, a flashy I don't care way.
Yeah, like if the Big Lebowski meets Elvis Presley. Like,
yes, very much so.
All right, let's talk about Tori Vagassi or Vagassi. I think they changed how they pronounce it too, so I'm not going to take too much blame for mispronouncing it. She's going to sing "Heart of Stone" from the musical Six. Is this a song that any of you three are familiar with?
No, again.
I'm going to go with 3 no's on that one.
No. I didn't know this was a musical. It took me a while to find this one, Jay. Did it take you a while to find it?
I found it on the wiki.
Okay.
That's where I go for all my info. So she, in her intro package, she tells us that she wants to be on Broadway. She's going to go ahead and sing a song from Broadway. I think that maybe she would have been better off to sing a song that's less obscure, a little more well known. I'm thinking maybe something from Wicked, but
or Cats.
Yeah, she sang the heck out of it. Like she did a great job with the song that she sang. I don't know, Sarah, we haven't heard from you for a while. What'd you think of Tori's performance?
So number one, I don't like. I wish the show posted what they're singing.
Yeah,
because I found that a little bit frustrating because I know the musical Six, but I just didn't know what this was. So I wish that they would post, this is the song, this is where it's from. So that's my first thought.
I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, actually. My biggest thought with this, it's like she's a great singer, but I don't understand how this is going to sustain its own Vegas show. Like, I don't feel like she wants to have her own show in Vegas. I feel like she wants to be on Broadway, which is fine, but that's 2 different dreams. Like, I'm thinking what is the show that is going to get people going to Vegas to see this person? And it's not Tori Vagassi. It's going to be something bigger. So I wasn't she has a nice voice. She wore a sparkly dress, but at the end of the day, it's you need to give me more for me to want to vote for you or even go forward in this competition. And I don't know how many like single act singers win this show and what that looks like. But I don't think Tori has it, if I'm being like perfectly honest.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That echoes, I think, the judges' comments pretty well. Jess, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like, obviously, she's a good singer. There's no question about it. But also, I didn't know the song. I didn't really like the song. So I was kind of left like, well, yeah, she's a great singer, but like, this isn't American Idol. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I want something different. If you're going to be a singer, like, be in a duo or a trio or do something different, right? Like, whistle and sing and beatbox all in one or something. It just feels like very plain, I guess, which feels mean to say because she's so talented, but it's hard to stack her, like how we was saying, it's hard to stack her up against everybody else.
Yeah, I feel like singers have a leg up on everybody because, you know, it's such a easy way to communicate. You make a connection with the audience.
Yeah.
But it's also like you're just a singer. You know, if you're a singer and a beatboxer, if you're a singer and a ventriloquist, if you're a singer and a juggler, like if you can give us that, then, you know, that's a whole different league. So I hear you. Cody, anything to say about Tori?
Just one quick thing that she her whole package was about being a party princess, and she sings Disney songs or whatnot. And she also sang Into the Unknown in her audition, just like T3 did.
Oh.
And I was expecting her to come out again and sing another Disney song, and then she sings an obscure Broadway song. I know she wants to be on Broadway, and that's great, but I'd like to hear something that's more mainstream.
Right.
There's plenty of Broadway songs that are more mainstream that people would know, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, she does make it through. We're going to give her another chance. I think that she'll take the critique from the judges and, you know, bring us something maybe, hopefully, a little bit more mainstream.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think that she took somebody else's spot that deserved it more. I would have like bounced her this round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we'll get into it, but she was part of that live save where then America votes again. So America voted her through twice.
Yeah.
I was watching and I was like, how?
I have her drafted on my team, and I was as surprised as anybody.
Yeah.
It's what I wanted to have happen, but it's not what I expected.
Yeah.
Howie said, I'm going to repeat what I said last time. I think you're an amazing singer. I think you'll be on Broadway, but on this show, this season, I don't think you have a chance against that. Simon said, you know who you are and where you want to be. It started off good and it ended up great. The best act we've seen so far tonight, which I don't think is great praise, honestly.
That
Yeah.
Heidi said, I thought that this was flawless, crystal clear voice, and a princess come to life. Sophia said, there's nothing bad to say. It felt so real. So fine praise from the judges. Howie was the most sour on her, and I think we've kind of repeated what they've said pretty well here. So with anything else before we move on to Shufflelution?
No.
Let's talk Shufflelution. This is our second dance group of the night. We've mentioned them a couple times leading up to this. This act, I was excited to watch them with fewer judges' reaction shots. It's something that they do a lot in the auditions, is cut away and we watch the judges, you know, make you know, surprise faces and O faces and ooh faces, and like, I really want to see what this act does. I'm not really familiar with shuffle dancing, and this is a great opportunity to kind of get it. We do get, I think, one or two judge reaction shots, but it turned out that without the judges' reaction shots, I was kind of bored by it. I didn't think it was a really great performance. There's a lot of like running in place kind of moves and like moonwalk stuff, or sort of they make you think they're moving one way but they're actually moving the other way.
Yeah, is half the performance them just doing the Running Man?
I think so.
That's what shuffling is.
Okay,
just
rebranded Running Man.
Yeah, it's just a lot of running in place stuff, and they didn't really do enough to be really engaging, or they didn't do enough, like, optical illusion stuff to really keep my attention through it all. So it fell a little bit flat for me. I wanted to like this a lot more than I ended up liking it at the end of the performance. Who's got a comment on it? Jump in here.
Yeah, I will say I really liked this one. Mainly because what I felt like the former dance crew we saw, the Doc Talk crew,
Yep.
yeah, they had like the same music throughout. I really liked that they changed up the music midway through this act. I felt like it kind of like breathed new life into the act midway through. I thought it was interesting dancing. Also could be because I hadn't seen the audition. So to me, this is like brand new. So it's probably a little bit more intriguing. Now, if this is the second or third time I'm seeing this act, I could kind of seeing it get old unless they spice it up. And of course we had the guy fall, which I didn't catch honestly when I was watching it until they mentioned it. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was interesting. But I don't see them winning because I just think I'll get bored of it eventually.
I'd agree with that. Sarah, what do you think?
I think I'm Chefvolution's biggest fan. I'm wearing Chefvolution pink today. I really loved it. I like their mix of songs. It was like Buggy Wonderland and like Music Start to Lose My Mind. I thought I liked their costumes. My favorite part of the entire episode was when the guy from Chefvolution that fell started crying when Howie pointed it out. I thought that was hilarious. I still don't get what shuffling is though, but I was fully in. And Sophia said that she felt like it was a cheerleader thing, but maybe that's why I like it. Like this was very reminiscent of like a cheerleading act, like a bring it on type of thing. And I was feeling it. I love Chefvolution. I would like to have justice for Chefvolution.
Yeah, it's like cheerleading, but a lot less like flips and tumbling and throws. It's all the ground stuff.
I don't know. There was something about it that really got me going.
Let's hook you in. Yeah.
Hooks you in. Yeah. Maybe it was the color. Like I was like, yeah, Chefvolution. I'm fully in.
All right. So Sarah's in. Cody, what do you think of Chefvolution? They came off your draft board here. So
Yep, they did. And once again, production let us down by having really bad lighting with all pink outfits. It was really hard to kind of see what they were doing at the beginning. They did kind of a crossover trick that they did, which you talked about the optical illusion. They did have that. But overall, I mean, it was okay. We've seen them now twice. I think it was a little more impressive the first time, but it's pretty much just a 3-minute performance of a TikTok video is all it is. And I don't see it being a full Vegas act. I did feel bad for the guy when he fell down. I didn't see it either. I thought it was really uncalled for Simon to say that was the best part of the performance. Mean. That was very, very mean. I mean, we've seen, and you've got old school Simon tonight. Simon was in a bad mood this evening.
He was cranky.
Yeah.
Really? I thought that Howie was like the villain this episode. I feel like
but
I felt like Howie was being like such a, stick up his behind.
Enough said.
Yeah. How he's been known to do that. But Simon lately is, he's kind of had a change of heart the last couple of seasons. Ever since he had his son's a little bit older now. He's much nicer to people, but for some reason this episode he reverted back to his old American Idol days. And it really hit me that he said that the best part of the act was when the guy fell, because you just don't say that about people.
No,
these guys, this team's been practicing hard the last couple of months. They even showed them practicing in the LA River. Is that a thing? We have to get our LA contacts on
we're all on the wrong side of the country.
Yeah.
Is it like in Dirty Dancing where to learn how to do lifts that you like go in water because like you lose gravity? Is that what it is?
Well, but the LA River is not actually a river. I mean, if you notice, it's just kind of a big cement area that.
Well, maybe
it was that scene from Grease, Sarah.
Oh,
That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Well, it's maybe a lack of gravity there too. Did you see how fast
it's just
those
filming
cars
for sure?
Go? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Simon said your audition was one of my favorites, but this was a huge step backwards for me. It felt like something we've seen a million times. Heidi said, I love the song, the music, and the dance, but it gets repetitive after a while.
Mhm.
Howie said, I think there's a lot of pressure. I saw you fall. It shows how much it means to you guys. Sophia said, I didn't love the song. Today felt more like a cheerleader thing. Not real high praise from the judges. I think they're recognizing the talent, but this maybe just wasn't a great performance.
Mhm.
One thing that did stick out at me at the end was when I think Terry asked them what they were going to do next, and the leader or the spokesperson just said, "I guess work smarter, work harder." And I'm like, I don't think that's the saying.
That's
I think you're supposed to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're going to do both.
Okay.
They have to cover all their bases. So they have to work smarter and harder.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good catch, Cody. That's funny.
And then she quickly handed the mic to like her friend next to her because like she obviously was not prepped to say anything.
I think a lot of times the acts are, like if you don't have anything to say, just say thank you. But
Yeah.
Thank you is a really weird thing to say there. So, all right. Are we ready to talk about Aiden Bryant?
Yes.
He is our young aerialist. He's on AGT commenters team. Cute intro video of him and his mom. She's using the lawnmower to raise and lower him on the rig.
Obsessed with it.
It really was pretty cute. So he does his aerialist routine. He starts up high, they lower him to the ground. His aerialist apparatus, sometimes you'll see a hoop, sometimes you'll see just a rope, sometimes you'll see chains. This was like two cloth loops or rope loops that he's going to perform on. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like we maybe have seen before. His final move was spinning by just 1 foot through one of the loops. I thought it was pretty good. I'm walking away from this. I'm feeling like it may not be enough for him to go through. Ultimately, he does go through, which I think was my surprise of the night. And ladies, this is your first introduction to Aiden Bryant. You probably haven't watched a lot of aerialist acts if you haven't been watching a lot of America's Got Talent. So I'm curious, what did you guys think of this one? Kind of coming into it a little bit more blind than we did.
Yeah, Aiden, I actually did see his audition because when I watched the first episode, he was one of the auditions in it. First of all, I am obsessed with this kid. I'm obsessed with his story. His mom is adorable. The fact that she loves him like so much that she's like, they learn the routines together. Literally, she has to learn the routine so she can yank him up on the lawnmower. That's dedication. I'm obsessed with the fact that he taught himself all of this and he's only been doing it for
On
2
YouTube.
years.
From
On
YouTube.
Like, it's insane. None of this should be real. But like the ribbons, how fast he spins and he doesn't vomit is astonishing. He goes to one arm, these massive swings, these splits. Like I had a million exclamation points and question marks in my notes for him. Like, I don't even understand how he did this. He dangles from his ankle. By far my favorite act of the night. And I just felt it was so unique and interesting. And I was riveted the entire time, on top of the fact that I feel like his story boosts it as well. He's like a cute kid, he's not so great in school, but he's like obsessed with this and his mom is so supportive. I just loved it so much. I really did.
Sarah, what are your thoughts?
I thought that it was a great act. I thought it was really impressive, especially the fact that he's 16 years old and he's only been doing this for 2 years. It kind of just made me think of how much potential he has to grow the act and become better as the years go on. There's, he's like a young prodigy in this stuff. I don't know. I thought it was really, really impressive. I thought it was an act that I could see in Vegas that would, sustain its own show. His story with his mom is very endearing. I just am all for the tractor. If I can vote the tractor forward over Aiden, I would. Power for the tractor. Very impressive. And I wish we saw the tractor on stage.
That would be a nice touch to see her running the
put his mom to
raising and
work. Come
lowering.
on.
Yeah, I'd like that. Cody, a few more of your thoughts on this one then?
No, I think they've covered it very well. He's the fastest spinner we ever seen. That's an aerialist. He's only been doing this 2 years. I mean, you guys have covered all the bases on it. He's one of the favorites in the show, and I think Simon even commented on this, that he's a favorite to win, and that this was I think Simon said this was the best act they've had since they've been at the Dolby Theater. Did you hear that?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
It's a weird compliment.
I mean, they've been at the Dolby Theater several years, and for him to say that's very interesting. So these comments kind of reflect what we put in our power rankings, except for Jay. So 3 of us actually, and commenter as well, ranked him number 1 overall.
Yay!
Jay ranked him 5th.
How dare you?
Jay, I need for you to defend this number 5
What do you
ranking.
think you are?
I appreciate hearing your guys' thoughts, because before I started doing this podcast, I would fast forward through their intro video packages. I don't care about why you're here. I don't care about the story. That's not what I'm here for. And the act standing on its own, I felt like this was a pretty run-of-the-mill aerialist act. It was as good as any of the other ones we've seen this season. But I didn't feel like it was anything particularly special. Now you take into account his cute relationship with his mom, and watching him do this on his rig in his backyard, and his mom using the lawnmower to hoist him up and lower him down. Like there's some endearing qualities to that.
So does he have to add that to his act on stage to make it better?
That's what I'm saying. I'd love to see his mom in the lawnmower.
There we go.
Like,
we figured it out for him.
That would really make this pop, right? I would totally remember that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, it's a very middle of the pack kind of act for me. It didn't wow me.
Yeah.
Like it did maybe you guys. So
yeah, I mean, whenever people are 50 feet in the ground, above the ground, I'm like, yeah, that's not impressive. I do that all the time. It's like, try harder. What about 100 weak sauce? Come on.
Spin more than 100 times in a row and not throw up. It's not impressive.
I'm not saying it's not impressive. It's just not the most impressive. Heidi said, "You're really an inspiration. It's insane how good you are after just 2 years." Sophia said, "I don't know much about anything, but I know you do not look like you just taught yourself." Howie said, "I've always been impressed by you. I love what you did. You spent too long resetting between tricks, though." Simon said,
I thought that was fair. I thought that was fair criticism. I mean, he's young, he's still learning how to do this. I think just a little bit of criticism. Hey, just don't spend so much time kind of, work the transitions into the show a little bit to make it a little bit smoother. I thought it was fair. Yeah.
And what I liked about that is that I think that Aiden actually agreed, which I thought that it was really great to see, like, a 16-year-old take constructive criticism like that. And actually, because people were like booing at the point, and he was like, no, like, he's right. Like, I agree with that. And I thought that was like kind of like really endearing and big of him to agree with that and like say, thank you. I'll take that into consideration.
Yeah.
And
very different than like Tori, who was like, oh, don't let the Howies of the world get you down.
She's a little bratty.
There is something endearing about like truly amateur acts that, a lot of these acts, they are professionals. They've been professionals.
Yeah.
And Aiden is not. He's very much an amateur, and that is, again, another point in his column that you only get if you take his story into consideration. So there's Aiden Bryant. Anything else on him? All right. Thank you guys for your thoughts on that one. It helps me understand maybe why he was ranked so high. You crazies. All right. Let's talk Northwell Health Nurse Choir. They were off of my drafted group here. They're going to sing "You Will Be Found" from the musical Dear Evan Hansen. They're going to come out. They're wearing their scrubs this time, in case you forgot that they were heroes and nurses, heroes / nurses. I thought that it was a really solid like wall of sound that they gave us. Great harmonies, nothing too intricate or particularly impressive about their ability to sing as a choir. But I see these guys as one of the front runners just because it's 2021 and we're dealing with what we've been dealing with for the last coming on 2 years here. Have either of you sung in a choir in high school or since high school?
You don't want me to.
I have not sung in a choir. No.
No, never.
I mean, they're obviously very talented, right? Like, here's the thing though, Jay, exactly what you said about Aiden is what I would say about the nurses. Like, if you take away the fact that they're nurses in New York City during COVID, like they're just a group of choir singers. And I don't mean to like diminish that. Like, they're very talented, but that's their story is what's compelling about them.
That's
not the fact that they're
true.
good singers.
Yes.
And so of course they're going to do well because they're nurses and we're all going through COVID. So not to diminish that act, but like that is why everyone has such a strong reaction to them and cries and says things like America needs you right now, right? Like, they're not saying that about their singing talent. They're singing it because they're nurses and they're heroes. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah, I got the chills with this, but it's a very manipulated chills. So like, hear me out when I say this. They are wearing their scrubs, number one.
Yeah.
Great. Number two, they sing "You Will Be Found," which is a very emotional song from Dear Evan Hansen. So this was like, and like this whole which I felt like was very on brand for this group of people. So it was very manipulative and well thought out that like, if we do this and we wear this and we sing this, we will get the feels. So I felt like, I'm like, yes, like, of course people are going to have like a reaction to this because of how they curated this perfect act with the perfect costume to make your like heart, like, feel for these people and be thankful for these people. So I thought it was very interesting and it was beautiful. And like I said, I got the chills and I know the song because I know the play, yada, yada, yada. But, I feel like it was just like, it was a little thought out. It was a little like 4D America's Got Talent for me.
It's interesting you say feels because we've coined a saying on here, America's Got Feels.
Yes.
We talk about these sob stories.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's it.
They're definitely pulling out all the America's Got Feels.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, they're doing their day job is so incredible and so important. You're gonna take off time doing that to go into a Vegas act. Like,
and there's a lot of them too.
What are you doing, boo boo?
Yes. Like
why
don't
you save the babies? Like, why are you going to Vegas? I don't know.
Save the baby.
And like, they get $100,000, but you split it up between like 50 nurses. Like, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if this act makes sense.
Well, they get $1 million.
Oh, okay. It's a little bit more than 100,000.
But it's spread out over 40 years.
Oh, annuity. Okay.
The audacity of that.
Mm-hmm.
Audacity of
it's better for dum-dums like me that are bad with money.
Yes, but still only like 500 grand when you take out taxes, and then it's like over 40 years. It's like, oh well, I still have to work for the rest of my life.
Split
then I guess.
by 50 people, so you get like $1 a month.
Great.
I think you can take the cash equivalent now, and you put it in the group's 501c3 fund, and the North Hell Nerf Choir is going to continue to exist in perpetuity as the members turn over. But yeah, like, okay, so you called me out, right?
I did, and I stand by it. Where'd you rank them, Jay? Where did you have them?
How do I have them ranked? I don't know.
Because it's probably higher than Aiden.
Number one.
Number one.
The
hypocrisy.
The hypocrisy of it.
Okay, but
defend yourself.
They're blatant about it, right? Their name is the Northwell Health Nurse Choir. They came out in their scrubs. Like it is their act. It's not just something that is going on in the background. It's very much front and center. That's my that's one part. The other part is I drafted them on my team, and I think I naturally wanted them to do well. And my third point of resistance to that is that I really put this together in like 45 seconds when Cody said, "Hey, could you put your power rankings together quick for me?" So I didn't spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
It's a great act. It really is. But I just don't understand how their future is going to work.
Yeah.
I want to talk about just the actual act itself for a moment. Jay, I thought this was actually better than their audition. I thought the singing was a little bit better. They did a few like cheesy moves, but it wasn't like it was in the audition. They looked sharp in the scrubs. I mean, they weren't like their actual scrubs they wear when they're doing their job. They weren't like grungy and have stains all out. They look great. That would be a power move, wouldn't it? Yeah. So
we just got off work saving lives.
Yeah, the scrubs look sharp. My only nitpick, and it's more of a production thing, is the way that some of them were holding their mics. It was almost like some of them, if you're singing, you got to have the mic kind of like right in front of your mouth. But some of them were like, they were holding them down here. Some of them were like off to the side.
Maybe those are the worst singers of the group. And so they're like,
their mics weren't actually
don't sing
on
too loud.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I kind of caught. The harmonies were really good. I wasn't familiar with the song, but I liked the song. It was nice and powerful. It was good for a good group. The soloist was really good. So as far as the act, I did like it better in the auditions. We're still, as a podcast, Jay, I don't think we're high on choirs. I mean, we like choirs, but we're not super high on choirs.
Yeah, generally not. And, it's a little ambiguous as to what exactly they get when they win. I think it's, sometimes it's dubbed as an opportunity to perform on Vegas. Sometimes they will headline a show at Vegas, which is like a performance or, like a short stint.
Interesting. Okay.
It's not like
read the fine print.
I think, a lot of them have the dream of like, we now have a Vegas show and a theater named after us and like the whole 9 yards. But I don't know that that's exactly what, you're prescribed, for lack of a better word. And I try not to take in, there's something we've talked about before is like, what do you judge an act on? Is it like strictly its entertainment value or its ability to have a Vegas show value? Or, do you judge them on how much, I would pay $50 to see that show, or I would, there's 100 different criteria that you can use. And, how do you pick one? And I think that's kind of the fun of the podcast and the fun of the show is, like, this one spoke to me and that one didn't, and I can't really explain it. And that's, why we spend a lot of hours hashing this stuff out. Okay. North Choir. Let's move on. Let's talk about positive.
Did we do judge comments?
I'll do those quick before we talk about positive impact moment. Howie said, "This is one where I cannot detach the story from who you are and what you do and how you sound."
Howie called it out. Howie actually called out.
He just said what we just
stop
said.
them and say, "Hey, you all have sob stories."
Sophia said it was spectacular. It was making me cry. It was emotional and spiritual. Simon said, "I believe that America and the world need you right now. This was better than your audition." Heidi said, "You touched me emotionally by singing this song." So there you go.
Sarah and Jess, real quick, just because it kind of relates to this. Sophia said she spends 7 hours on her makeup.
It's ridiculous. It's preposterous. And also she's not doing her own makeup for this show. No way. Not a chance. Someone else spends 7 hours on her makeup. By 7, it's probably more like 2.
Maybe
still
her
feels like
whole...
a ridiculous amount of time to spend on makeup.
It is.
Yeah. Not makeup. Maybe like the entire...
The look.
The hair.
Yeah.
The look.
makeup.
Sarah, the look probably takes like what, 2 hours? 3 hours.
Yeah. Maybe she's including like,
touch up,
shower, hair, makeup, wardrobe, nails. Maybe it's like the whole thing. Makeup, 7 hours of makeup seems a little extreme.
Spending 3 hours
about the day.
Previous day picking the wardrobe before they.
Yeah.
You think about the day. This airs 8:00 Eastern, so that's 5:00 LA time. So she probably has to show up for makeup at what, 3, 2?
Oh, I'm sure she's on set before then, but yeah.
She's probably on set all day.
Yeah, she's in the trailer. Yeah, like
she's
like
3 a.m. to do the makeup in time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, they do a good job with it. I think both.
Oh yeah.
All the judges are attractive.
Of course,
people,
very beautiful.
Beautiful people.
Very handsome, as we'll see later.
Group. Okay, positive impact movement. Let's move on. They are on my list here as one of the teams that I drafted. Acrobatic group.
In case you all didn't notice, Jay had a lot of acts in his draft.
I see that
in this episode.
Yeah. This is your group.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping for all 6 to go through, but knowing that was a dream left to be fulfilled. So their first big move, they're going to be one guy on the bottom with a man standing on his shoulders, and on top of the middle man's shoulders is another man on top of him. So we're 3 tall, standing on each other's shoulders, and the stack of 3 of them falls forward, and the top one dunks a basketball on the way down. That would scare the snot out of me. But they did it. They do lots of flipping and lifting each other. One guy, he runs up a plank to dunk the ball, and he missed the dunk where Simon hit his buzzer. They in their audition, they did a thing where they were holding barbells and they threw them across to each other. This time, instead of barbells, they were using basketball hoops, like the entire bar and hoop on the end. So instead of just throwing it between the guys on the top, they threw it down to the guys on the bottom while the guys on the top jumped off, which I think is that's a difficult thing to do with all the weight shifting, moving around, to even be standing after that, let alone with all your teeth not taking a basketball hoop to the face. Is pretty impressive move. Their very last trick, let's see, how do I have 2 on the bottom have a guy standing on their shoulders, and then the 4th guy climbs up and he's standing with his feet on the head of the guy that's standing on the guy's shoulders. All around pretty acrobatic, pretty cool stuff. It's a strength act. I'm curious, I've kind of heard Cody's thoughts on strength acts on the whole. I'm curious what you guys thought of positive impact movement. Sarah, you look like you're ready to say something.
I just felt like these guys were like the fraternity from HE double hockey sticks. It was just dude bros doing dude bro things. It was just it was interesting because I feel like they were trying to be like a Magic Mike act, but it was also it was unrealistic. Who throws basketball hoops all over the place? I've never seen somebody grab a basketball hoop, put it over their head and start throwing it. I feel as though the barbell thing at least made sense in their world. Cause I guess these are gym bros. It's let's throw these barbells across the way, man. This is so cool. But then it's but what, will be better if we throw a basketball hoop over your head. Whoa, it was wild. I thought that it was interesting. Obviously, they're supposed to be these muscular, attractive guys, and that's part of the appeal as well. But it was just a wild time. I've never seen anything like this. And I agree with Simon. The balls were too small. That's my last remark.
So I can't tell if you're a thumbs up or a thumbs down on this.
I don't even know. I don't even know either. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that I ranked them pretty low. But would I bring my best girlfriend for a bachelorette party to watch Positive Impact? Absolutely. That's where these guys come in handy. It's for bachelorette parties. So yeah, I would go for a bachelorette party and I would watch their act. And you know what? I would be probably scared for my own teeth with throwing basketball hoops, but at least we would have a good time and they would get a couple of dollars from me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
you ranked them. You and commenter both ranked them 9th, which was the highest. I had them. I had them 12th. Jay had them 12th. Jess, you had them 11th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So obviously I did like that.
I just like, I don't know. I felt the same way as Sarah. As soon as I found out that they met at Muscle Beach and they were like, yeah, bro, we just like doing workouts. They even howled at one point. And I was just like, what am I watching? And I'm pretty sure at one point that 4 straight white dudes said something like, we've had such a tough time. We've gone through trials and tribulations. And I'm just like, I can't with you people. It just felt like it was fine. Like, here's the thing. Yes, what they're doing is very impressive. Can I do it? No, I cannot. I would never even try. But it felt like, okay, so whereas the dance teams felt like very synchronized, very organized, like timing was there. I felt like they were a little off in their timing. And I don't know if it's just from the fact that they're a strength-based thing where it's like, it's not necessarily about the timing, but it felt like something was weird. And I also felt like whenever they had to rip their shirts off, it felt a little slow in those moments because they're like struggling to rip the shirts off. And I'm just like, just leave the stupid shirt on. Like, no one cares that. I mean, maybe some people care. I certainly don't care to see your stupid chest. Like who one of the judges said, like, I don't see any muscles. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
They were fine.
So the background, I think, if I'm right, Jay, I think the background on these guys is they do motivational things through their strength. So they're one of these teams, they're one of these groups that like goes to schools and does strength stuff and says, hey, stay in school, don't do drugs. And it's kind of, that's kind of their backstory. And I think they need to kind of just stick with doing that.
Yeah.
I don't, because if you notice, I think their shirt that they wore when they came out had 316 on it. So I think they're like a Christian based, I'm just guessing, but I think a Christian based type organization that does strength and motivational type speeches. When I was in high school, we had a group come out called the Power Team, and they ripped phone books and did all that type stuff. So
that's so strange.
I think
because I saw them and I thought it said 3.14, and I was like, is it like Pi Day?
It's
like,
Pi.
Oh, it was 3.14. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But
like, these are mathematicians. These dude bros are accountants when they're not working out.
You're probably right, but I thought of Pi, and I was like, why do they have Pi on their shirts? What's going on? Oh gosh.
Oh, that's funny. So the whole, is it 3.14 or is it
3.14?
They are right. I completely had it wrong. It was 3.14. I had 3.16 in my brain for some reason, but I think they are like 316. So I think they are one of these groups that is a motivational type speaking group that goes and does like strength type stuff for stay in school, don't do drugs, type stuff.
This is totally different from 365. It's a different
yeah.
Okay. So Sarah, you called them dude bros, and I feel like that's kind of the perfect encapsulation of what this is. Like it's dude bros, right? It's guys doing tricks, seeing if they can go bigger and better than what they did last time.
And the basketball thing wasn't very good. I mean, the guy missed a basket, and
the guy falling through the basket was cool.
Fall through. Okay, sure. He fit.
He fit.
So.
Once again, doesn't say a lot about their muscles if they can fit.
Yeah, exactly. You should be so big that you can't fit through the hoop.
One arm shouldn't even be able to go through the hoop.
All right. Simon said the buzzer was because it was a mess. The balls were too small. It was messy. I'd call it no Magic Mike. Howie said, I don't agree, but I loved what you did last time with the weights instead of the basketball hoops. Heidi said, only on AGT. That's why I love this show so much. Sophia said, I didn't hear the buzzer because the crowd was so loud. We have a balancing acts on the show, but you guys make it fresh and different. So this is fresh. This is different than what we've seen. Like in the back of my mind, I'm hoping that because they're fresh and different, they're going to be able to be in that top half and make it through, but I'm not holding my breath after the performance, and they ultimately end up not going through.
And Jess and Sarah, I'll also say Heidi goes crazy whenever guys take their shirts off.
She does love it.
I mean,
okay.
thirsty Heidi comes out once the guys take their shirts off.
Okay. Yeah.
So the rips were specifically for Heidi's votes. Gotcha.
I think
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
She's only one of the people, and she's probably not even voting, but like.
But you need the judges to say good things for America
Yes,
to want to vote
you're
for
right.
you.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to move on to Peter Antonio?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, baby. Okay.
Oh.
Yes, you love a magician, so I'm
I
going to
do.
be going to you first after I kind of set him up here. So Peter, he is blindfolded. He's going to attempt to physically link each judge with a can of food. Then Simon is going to choose a colored can for Sophia to eat. The can that Simon had on his desk then ended up having a piece of paper in it which had all the correct predictions of what happened up there. That didn't make a lot of sense, but boy, it sure felt like we spent a lot of time on this act, and Simon did us no favors by switching his votes all the time. Cody, you ran a clock on this. How long was Peter Antonio on our screen this time?
So I'm going to ask you. Let me pull it back up. Shoot, where'd it go?
We
Okay,
spent a lot of time on his like audition too, because we got to re-see
Yes.
like the whole
Forever.
Sophia and her
Yes,
ring and the
yes.
proposal thing.
So Jay, just the performance, over or under 8 minutes?
That's got to be under, right?
No,
Please tell me. No way.
8.5 minutes, just on the performance.
That's
And that's not
unbelievable.
even the intro
Performance.
package or anything else.
So his total time was 11 minutes. Now, ladies, just for reference, his audition was also 11.5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So to kind of put that in
Wild.
perspective of the other acts, like Positive Impact, their total time on screen, a little under 6 minutes.
Mhm.
Northwell, about 5.5. Aiden Bryant, about 6 minutes. So he got almost twice as much time on
Yeah.
screen.
Well, you can
as
chew the
everyone else.
scenery as a magician. You can't chew the scenery as a singer unless you choose a
No, but-
really long song.
Yeah, but these acts are limited in time. I mean, there's a certainly 2-hour show.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can you imagine if they gave a comedian that much time though? Like
we'll get to Josh Blue here in a minute.
Yeah.
he still
Yeah.
didn't, there's no way he got that much time.
Not that much. no.
It felt long. Like I wrote longest bit. Why did he get so much time compared to everybody else? It felt longer than everybody else's too.
It felt long. Yeah. Okay. So Jess, I'm gonna come to you. What did
Yeah.
you think of the tricks? What did you think of the performance? What do you think of Peter Antonio?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved how everything linked together. So like, you know, he asks them all these questions as they're dumping things out into a bowl, which I really liked because then it comes in at the end with a piece of paper. Obviously, it annoyed me that Simon just constantly changed his mind. Like, Simon, pick a color and stick to it. Like, we don't have all time. Show us 2 hours. Like, let's go. Took him forever, but I thought Peter was really good. Not only with like, obviously the tricks were amazing, but I liked the way he did them too. Like, I just thought that like he spent his time, he chewed the scenery. Like, I thought he was good with Sophia and helping her when she was blindfolded, like find the fork and all of that. I thought it was funny. I really like that he's like built up this relationship with Sophia from what I can tell based on like the audition he had her come up as well. I love this. I love magicians. So obviously I'm very biased in that I thought it was very impressive. I ranked him second, just under Aiden. So I just thought it was really well done. I was not surprised when he went through.
All right. Sarah, do you have more to say about Peter Antonio?
I really liked this act as well. I really liked his presence. I loved his accent. I liked what he was wearing. I really liked that maroon jacket with the maroon vest and the black pants. The only thing that I had a problem with was that he made Heidi and Sophia open up the cans with their nails. And I found that extremely offensive because as a person that values their nails, you cannot catch me doing that. I will not open any can anywhere ever. So the audacity that he was like, open up these cans and like he made these girls do this. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. With the spoon, you have to give me a spoon or else I'm not opening up any cans. And I felt like that was very offensive to make these girls open up cans. But aside from that, once I got over that, I thought it was a good act. Also felt like it was a little cheap to put the pineapple in the yellow can. Like it was a little like on the nose for me, but I thought that overall a very entertaining act. And I kind of like him better than what he does, but I ranked him second as well. And I thought that he was a very good act.
Okay. I suspect that there was a switching of the cans or something happened behind the scenes that
it's magic. He's psychic.
I suspect that it was magic that ended up with pineapple in that can instead of the, what was it? Cheeks, pig.
It was like pig face
pieces.
It's called
stuff.
brawn with pig eyelashes and lips and nose and
something nasty.
She ended up not eating brawn, and nobody's surprised that she didn't, because that was how it was going to end up no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't really know how they do the thing where that piece of paper ends up in the can at the end. Like that's a pretty cool part of the trick. I appreciate that on the whole. I do think that they have given him so many minutes of screen time. It's really kind of unbelievable. Howie said, you came through with flying colors. Heidi said, I love how there's so many layers. It's always special. Simon said, I was willing it to go the way I wanted it to go, and it didn't. You are a wizard. So I think the judges enjoyed him. We didn't get comments from Sophia, but I think she seemed to enjoy it all. Cody, you're kind of the big mentalist fan. How did this one stack up against other mentalists we've seen?
So I think Sarah and Jess will probably want to turn their headphones off for this, because I don't think they want to hear what I'm getting ready to say. So, Jay, we've seen quite a few mentalists over the years. We've seen the Clairvoyants, which is one of my all-time favorite acts on AGT. We've seen Colin Cloud. We've seen Oz Perlman. Oz Perlman did this, not exact same trick, but very similar type trick where they had him, open something up and you had to guess what it was. Oz Perlman in season 10 did this trick. The Clairvoyants, if you watch the results show, the Clairvoyants were on there. They were second place in season 11, I think 12. Jay, commenter's actually in the comments for the YouTube live stream, so he's probably going to correct me here in a moment. So he's going to kind of pipe in on that. But so the Clairvoyance is one of my all-time favorite acts, and I think of those, and there's many others, he's kind of the bottom of that list. His acts have been so long. He's got to get to it quicker. He's very long-winded. It doesn't seem like it's that impressive of a trick from my perspective. I'm glad you all enjoy it. I really do. I'm glad you all are enjoying it. But we've just seen so many of these. I now kind of have a rating system for my mentalists. But kind of just looking at the power rankings, that kind of reflects that, where you all had him second. I had him 10th. Jay had him 11th, and commenter had him 6th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think a lot of that is the timing, just that I like his accent. We talked earlier on about the mentalists, how they kind of have this presence. There was another mentalist that came on later in auditions that was completely different. He was from France. He wore like ripped jeans and a t-shirt, but most of these mentalists are usually dressed up in some sort of suit or Victorian outfit. And they have an accent, which makes it a little more prestigious, a little more mysterious, which I really like. So the mentalist is one of my favorite categories on AGT. So I hope that didn't ruin it for you too.
No, I still love him.
Good. I'm glad you do. I would ask that you go out and, you watch the Clairvoyants. You kind of,
I loved them. Yeah,
they're great. They're absolutely great. So that's kind of where I'm at with Peter.
All right. We've got 3 more acts to get through here still. So let's move forward. We've got Korean Soul. They're our second boy band of the night. They're going to sing Aerosmith's "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing," but they're not going to do it in Aerosmith style. They're going to do it in Korean Soul style. I thought it was a really interesting reimagination. You know, their version was interesting. It had me interested and sort of my ears perked up a little bit. Their outfits. I saw a tweet. Somebody said that it looked kind of like the Golden Girls dressed them.
Oh no.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't like
really
their
liked
outfits either.
Really, I loved their outfits.
No, they were ugly. They were baggy and
liked the
ugly
suits.
gray suits. No, bad.
They were like a greenish gray. I thought they were good.
Ugh. Ew.
Aw.
But
They at
costuming
least had different
aside,
patterns. They all had different patterns.
Yeah, I liked
Yeah.
that about them.
I am curious what you guys thought of of the act itself of Korean Soul's song.
I felt like it was a little basic. I thought that I've heard I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, the slower version before this. So it just like didn't really excite me. And I felt like it was basic. And I didn't love this act.
Okay. You said ultimately though that you preferred them over T3 at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, I did, because I felt as though their harmonies were better. Maybe I felt like they had more potential to pick a better song for them and do something more interesting. So I felt like they just had more overall potential, better potential than T3.
Jess, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I really liked them. I liked their suits. I liked their like aesthetic. I liked their vibe. I saw that they sang Boys to Men in their audition, which I was like, oh, Boys to Men. So
It was
I
so
really
good. It was really good.
Yeah, and I really liked them, and I felt like the same as Sarah. Like they have really good potential. Like this wasn't their best like performance that could have ever been, right? But I really liked them. And I thought they had potential, and I was actually kind of surprised that they were so low, and like had to go up against T3 to get forward. Like I thought they would be moving forward, not like top 1, but I thought that they were worthy of like that top 5 position. Yeah, I really liked them.
All right. Cody, do you have anything to say about Korean Soul?
Yeah, I like this because I really like that song. I like the Aerosmith song. It's I remember when it came out with the movie Armageddon. So I really like that they sang this. Excuse me. I like their harmonies. They were kind of a favorite going in early. Where did we draft them? Commenter drafted them 4th overall. So they were drafted pretty high, kind of a favorite. I thought they did a fine job. I liked it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Heidi said it was different to hear the song like this. She called it snoozier. She does ask for more of a solo next time instead of a group. Sophia said you're looking sexier than last time. I can't wait to see what America thinks because I think you're getting better. Simon said, I miss the harmonies. I thought the song was a bit predictable. I think there's a good chance you could go through though. If you do, you've got to take more of a risk. Howie said, this was my personal favorite moment of the night. So I generally pretty high praise from the judges, a couple of critiques here and there, but all in all, I think, pretty good showing for Korean Soul. I was surprised to see them in that, on the bubble.
Yeah.
And then after Tori went through and they were it was Korean Soul and T3, here's 2 judges picking T3 and I'm crossing my fingers hoping that my team's going to go through, but ultimately it was Korean Soul. So I do think that that's the right choice, Korean Soul over T3.
Yeah.
Although it hurts my draft board. So there's that. All right, let's talk Josh Blue. He's a comedian. He's on my draft board, so I'm loving him. He introduces himself as a comedian that happens to have cerebral palsy. He says, I don't know many of you I don't know if many of you know who I am. If this is your first time seeing me, I'm sure you're thinking, wow, AGT is really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. So he has a lot of like self-referential stuff, a lot of stuff about being handicapped and living handicapped in the world. He says, when I travel, I see more and more handicap accessible stuff and I feel obligated to use it. And do you know how awkward that is on a date? And then he like walks back and forth across the stage like he's walking up a ramp, as his date would then take the steps. It's like that's kind of funny. So pretty good stuff. It says disabled people are the largest minority group, but we're also the easiest to join. You're just one bad bike ride away. Isn't that right, Simon? Which is a nod to Simon's accident that he had on an electric bicycle, a year ago or so. I thought it was pretty great material. Sarah, what did you think of Josh Blue as the first comedian that you saw on the show?
I thought that it was a really interesting act. I think that it's great to see. I think that a lot of people could look up to Josh and be like, okay, like, wow, like he's like really going forward. He's doing it. I think that it was like really interesting how he like his material was mostly about him. Like he wasn't taking, a lot of comedians take digs at others, but this was like very like self-focused. And I think it's important to see like somebody use this platform and educate people on cerebral palsy. So I appreciated that. I didn't get that scooter joke. It makes it a lot funnier, actually. So and I like Simon's like, you're very naughty. So it was an enjoyable act. I don't know if like it's like my brand of comedy, but I really appreciated the act for what it was and what he does and what he represents. So yeah.
All right. Jess, you have thoughts on Josh Blue?
Yeah, I thought he was really funny. I really liked that it's like so focused and self-referential and self-deprecating. I thought that it makes him very unique. He's not just any comedian, right? Like he has material that is just his. I'm curious though. I ranked him 8th. I probably should move him a few spots up, but like I'm just curious to see more acts from him and like what his future acts look like. Like, are they all revolving around being handicapped or cerebral palsy, or like what else does he have? Because I'm very curious. Like, okay, that's one act. Now I want to see what else he has.
If I remember correct, Jay, that's what he did in his audition as well.
Yes, a lot of the same kind of material
Mm-hmm.
self-referential stuff.
Yeah. Now a little history on Josh Blue. Do you remember the show Last Comic Standing?
Yes.
Yeah. So he won season 4 of Last Comic Standing. Yeah.
No kidding. Okay, so he definitely has the chops then. That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
He's been around. He's been doing this a long, long time.
His timing was very good. Like he seemed very seasoned at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So Jay, I mentioned last week that I thought Kabir was the best comedian in the show still. I still feel that, but I think him and Josh Blue are now kind of very, very close. I mean, they may even be tied. They're definitely better than Gina. So I like both of them so far.
Yeah. I think you guys are right. He's very seasoned. He knows his way around the stage. He knows what he's doing. He's got great timing. The joke about you're just one bad bike ride away, ain't that right, Simon? Like that lands with people who know it, who get the joke, and it's very like it rewards those AGT fans who kind of see what's happening or why that's funny. So I think it's all around a really quality act. I think he's destined for good things, and if he takes this platform and is able to book bigger shows and able to sell out more audiences and to make some more money from it without ever winning the show, that's fine too. But he's got a good base here that he's going to be working from regardless. Howie said, "You're amazing, funny, informative, topical. You check every box. You're a superstar." And I always listen extra closely to Howie's comments on the comedians. He seems usually pretty well keyed in. Sophia said, "You're funny and you know it. I think you're the best." Simon said, "You're very naughty. You've got a great edge about you. I adore you. I think you'll make the finals," which I am happy to hear. And then Heidi said, "I think you're one of a kind and you're very funny." So not maybe the greatest praise from the judges, but I mean, they're expecting him to make it through this round and maybe the next round as well. Yeah. Anything else on Josh Blue? Okay, let's talk Victory Brinker. This is not a stage name. This is actually her name, Victory Brinker.
She's born for it.
She's born for it. She is a kid opera singer. I don't even have the name of the song she sang written down here, but it's
I didn't get it this time, Jay.
Classical opera. It's kid singer singing opera. It's like classic AGT kind of stuff. If you picture AGT in your mind, like this might be what you picture is Victory Brinker. Jess, what did you think of Victory Brinker's performance?
I felt like, unlike Tori, even though I'm not an opera person, like literally at all, I was just blown away by Victory. Like, it didn't matter that I don't care for opera, like just the face and mouth and voice we're doing is like insane. Like, I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed her story and the fact that she has like 10 brothers and sisters. Like, holy crap. How do you stand out? You just scream and sing. I mean, totally works, right? Yeah, I loved her. I think she's insanely talented. I think that doesn't matter what happens on the show. She's going to be, if she wants to be an opera singer, like certainly in her future. Really loved her. Very endearing, very cute little kid. So talented. Yeah.
All right. Sarah, what did you think of Victory?
She has a wonderful voice that is, that's not to be just debated. I don't think I like kid acts. I feel like I don't know if it's all kid acts, but there's something about it that just makes me feel like a little uncomfy. And I don't know, like a 9-year-old shouldn't have like a gig in Vegas, like go to school, like join Girl Scouts. Like, what are you doing? Like, you don't need a gig in Vegas. You don't need $1 million. Like, it just feels like a little ick to me. I mean, she has a gorgeous voice, but I don't know. Like, I kind of ranked her middle of the pack because I just don't think that she should continue this. Go sell cookies or go do knots or do arts and crafts. Why are you trying to become famous at 9 years old? Girl, don't you see what happened to Lindsay Lohan? Take a break. It's fine. So I'm a little concerned, and I'm a little concerned that this is a big push by Mr. Brinker and Mrs. Brinker. So I don't know.
I try to divorce myself from the contestant's age when I'm judging the acts. Are you a good kid opera singer? Yeah, you're one of the very best kid opera singers in the world. Are you a good opera singer?
Kid opera singers?
You're average opera singer, right?
Jackie Ivanko finished second.
Yes, she did.
And what is she doing today? Is she on
she's singing opera today? She's singing opera today.
There you go.
Oh.
It's for the exposure, Sarah. It gets her out there, gets her name out there, gets her voice out there so that she can later be I finished in X place on AGT, hire me.
Oh, I guess so. Her dress is a really, really pretty pink dress.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So Jess, you ranked her highest amongst all of us at third.
Yeah. She deserved it.
Sarah,
Stand by it.
Sarah, you had her at 6th. Commenter had her at 8th. I'm sorry, commenter had her at 10th. Jay had her at 8th. I had her at 11th.
Oh wow.
So
I was actually
your ears operating properly on the third watch through. Oh my
I'm sorry. Do what?
I said, were your ears operating correctly on the third watch through? I feel like they got blown out by Johnny Showcase and you didn't know what was going on by the time Victory came on stage.
So I tweeted this out when I was watching it, and a lot of this is I do this after the live show because I need to get these rankings. I want to get these rankings in before the results happen. I don't want the results to influence my rankings. So I usually have them done, but once the live show is over. And I tweeted this out once she performed that I must be listening to something completely different than almost the rest of America, except for a few, because I don't think she's very good at all. I think she's pitchy. I think she's screechy. She
roast her.
Shade on this 9-year-old.
Well, hey, you've come on America's Got Talent and you're competing against
listen, I don't even like kids. It's completely fair.
You know what? Her dress was ugly. I take it back. It wasn't that pretty.
I'm not talking about her as a kid. I'm talking about her as a singer. And if it was an adult singer, I'd be saying the same thing. Other people love her. Like you said that she has a great voice. Yeah. I'm apparently not hearing it. So I don't think she's very good at all, and I'm surprised, and we're going to get into it. I was shocked when she went through, but she might be getting the kid bump. She might be getting the opera bump. She wore what did she wear? She wore Keds or
she had
Chucks.
sneakers on. Yeah,
she
had the Converse on.
Yeah, Converse. Yeah, so she's wearing Converse with her dress. It's a very kid thing to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get all that, but as far as an opera singer, I didn't think it was good at all. I mean, and I've had her, and I listened to it the second time, and I actually had to take my headphones off when they replayed her audition, just because it's. I know it's terrible. It's terrible. I really hate it. I want her to do well. I want her to do well. I want her to continue to work. And I was hoping. I think this performance was better than her audition, but it still wasn't good. That means her audition was not good, and it does not deserve the group golden buzzer.
All 4 of them. Buzzer. Yeah, that was wild.
All 5 of them gave.
To be fair, I didn't think that it deserved that either. I think that they're like, oh, it's a cute little kid buzzer. Like, come on now.
Yeah. So I thought it was better than the audition. I still didn't think it was great. I want her to do well. I want her to continue to practice. I want her to try again later on. Hey, if she's going to continue to go through, she's going to continue to go through. I can't do anything about that. But I want her to keep working on her craft.
So is this like a case of the show is telling us that she's amazing? So then people like me who don't watch the show believe that she's amazing?
Probably.
Yes.
We're the dummies who buy it.
I'm a casual.
We're like, oh my God, she's amazing. They told me she's so good.
Yeah.
You don't watch the live feed, Sarah.
I don't watch the live feed, honestly, and we'll get to it. But I would not want to watch the live feeds based on what I saw coming out of the Sonic Lounge hangout.
No,
that seemed like the worst party I ever went to.
Yes.
Oh goodness gracious.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's talk judges' comments quick. Simon said, "I know nothing about classical music, but I do remember someone called Carrie Underwood, and I told her she would sell millions of records. I think you're going to be one of the biggest stars to emerge from one of these shows."
I felt like that was
name drop Carrie Underwood.
I felt that was rotten timing, considering Carrie Underwood is not getting any fans or praise this week. So she's kind of under the bus this week.
I've missed this.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the show.
Right.
Are we canceling Carrie Underwood now?
I'll just say 50% of America wants to cancel Carrie Underwood, and the other 50% love Carrie Underwood.
Yikers.
Okay, all right. Sophia said, "I didn't know someone your age could sing this way." Heidi said, "You have the most amazing gift. You're the cherry on top of an amazing night." And Howie said, "You're amazing. I know you're going to make it." So there you go. That's Victory Brinker.
And I bought it.
And you hook, line, and sinker.
They got me.
I actually got someone on Twitter say, "How much do you know about opera singing anyway?" I'm like, well.
Oh, so yes.
Have you even been to opera?
I know what I like, and I know what I don't like.
I love it.
There we go.
All right, so there you go. That was the show. We've, I think, been over all the results. We don't need to hash that out any further, do we?
No.
Okay, we saw the clairvoyance. We saw Cody Lee sing with her. We haven't mentioned that at all. Any comments about that particular performance on the results show?
Her is great. I think that she's like one of the new up and coming R&B singers, like true R&B. So she's great. And I don't know who Cody Lee is, but he has a great voice, and I thought that it was a good little duo. So I thought that it was a good song. Once again, don't know what they were singing because they don't put it on the screen. I wish they would.
Yeah, like, they really should do that.
Yeah, how am I supposed to go on Spotify and check out what they're singing if they don't tell me what they're singing? It's like, why do I have to be like the clairvoyance to figure out what they're singing on this show? It's ridiculous. But
I think it was one of her songs.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I think so too. But I want to know which one. How
they need to tell
us?
No, they need to put it on the screen.
Yeah. It was good. I like that performance.
All right.
So Cody Lee. Yep. Go ahead, Jay.
Cody. Nope. You got this.
If you look, Cody Lee is actually my alter ego.
I love
Cody,
it.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he won season 14. He is blind and autistic.
Oh,
he's blind. I saw that he had like a cane or something, but I couldn't tell if it was like for stability or what. That makes sense then, because obviously I saw him playing piano. Oh, that makes sense now. I saw the cane. Okay, because someone was holding a mic for him too or something.
That's his mom.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay.
Yeah, his mom helps him get to the piano, kind of gets his fingers placed on the keys, let him know where to start.
We love a supportive mom on this show.
Does
it.
Cody Lee's mom have a tractor too, though?
I know. she should pull the piano up with okay.
With the tractor.
Her mom has a tractor, pulls him and the piano up in the air as he plays. It's amazing.
This is not right.
It should happen. I love it.
Okay, so we've been all the way through this. This has been a lot of fun, guys. I really do appreciate you sitting down, not only watching the show and spending the time on that, but sitting down with us to hash it out. I've really enjoyed your thoughts and your insights and your questions. Do you guys have anything else kind of like big AGT related that you want to say? Or
I have a
before we
question.
move on. Okay.
So I did watch, like I said, I watched the first episode that had the auditions, and then I realized I would not have enough time to binge everything before I watched the recent one. However,
it's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot.
It is. And here's the thing. If I was watching week to week, like I totally could see myself. The thing is like, we all know I would like skip to the end of the results shows just to see what the end. I don't care about the results shows. But here's the thing. What I need to know is the Peacock Man still in the show? Because I was just besides myself. I was like, if I was Simon, I would literally remove him from the stage. Like I could not stand him. Please tell me he's still in the show.
So you're talking about Sethward. Sethward, he did in fact make it through to the live shows. He performed last week and was eliminated.
Thank God. Okay. Because he was horrifying. Sarah, there was a guy who dressed up like a peacock and pretty much did nothing besides like squawk and jump around. And apparently he's auditioned like a million times and Simon hates him. And I understand why. He's very annoying. That's good to know.
Wow.
So last week he did the peacock again, but the feathers were unfurled and pretty much filled up the entire stage. And then he did some trick where he like walked up on the steps, and then there were fireworks and pretended to be on fire, fell down the steps, and then he emerged as a giant phoenix.
Wow. I wonder how he affords those costumes. Because it's a lot. Like it was a lot the first time.
Yeah. Jay is our resident Sethward expert.
Well,
You're an expert on him?
No, not at all.
It's terrifying.
But it's a Andy Kaufman brand of comedy, right? Like avant-garde, and like he's.
I mean, it's not funny though, because he makes me uncomfortable, and that I don't want him watch him. So
he's a total success, right? It's very much in the same lane as Johnny Showcase in a lot of ways, right? Like
explains why Johnny Showcase was last on my.
If you don't get it, he feels like he wins, And that's,
was literally wearing like a beak on his face, Sarah. Like it was like so much. It was so much to consume.
Oh,
and
boy.
I could not believe the judges were like allowing this to happen. It reminded me of like Sanjaya. Is that what his name was on American Idol? Like way back when, like very much Sanjaya vibes of like, how
That's
is
an
this
old
happening?
reference.
Thank you. I
Deep
know I'm
cut.
old. Yeah.
Deep cut.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I won't check out Squidward or whatever his name
Don't
is.
watch it. Don't watch it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Squidward.
So Jay, I just want to go real quick through the fantasy rankings for our listeners that might be following along. Commenter had Korean Soul go through this week. Johnny Showcase did not go through. Victory went through. Aiden went through. And that's it. So he's now got 7 total points. I had no one go through. I had Doc Took was eliminated this week, and Shufflelution was eliminated this week. So I stayed at 2 points. And then you had the Nurse Choir go through. Josh Ballou, Tori, and Peter went through, and you did not have Positive Impact or T3. So you got 5 points. So it's now 7.
Wow.
Yeah. So you've got 7 to 5 to 2.
Do you have like 1 million people going up next week, or like what's going on with your team?
I've got a bunch going next week. So I've got 1, 2,
week.
3. Yeah,
That's
I've
good.
got yep.
Makes
So
you
I
feel
have to
better. Shufflelution, one in my heart.
There you go.
So of the 7 acts that go through next week, I have to have 6. I have to have all 6 of mine go through.
I believe in you.
Well, there's more points to be had. You don't have to win the first round to win the competition.
Jay, I'm still mad at you about Aiden. Still mad. Still upset. It's unbelievable.
Hopefully this doesn't sever our relationship, because I feel like we've got board games to talk about.
We do. It's true.
Many more things. So we'll
any other questions, comments on the show or AGT is in general that you want to talk about?
This was so much fun. Like this was a blast. I enjoyed the show a lot. I could see myself watching it. Like I said, I probably would skip through the results shows, but I would watch the week to week. I enjoyed watching the acts. I like a variety of acts. Like it's fun to kind of see, especially like I'm into magic, and they usually have at least one magician, which I'm always into. So
last week there was a magician, Dustin Tavella, who did some card tricks with Howie. He's got a story where he just adopted 2 toddler boys.
I saw his audition. He's the one who has like the young kid. Oh my God.
Yes.
Seriously, Sarah, this one was like broke. I watched it. I was like, oh my God, I want him to win so badly. I need to go back and watch him. He was so good.
He's got the America's Got Feels going on.
He does. He's an adopted son. It's like such a cute story, and he like involves him in the act. It's so adorable.
Yep. There's an update to the story where he's now adopted that boy's little older brother. So they now have both siblings in their family. Next week we also have a quick change, which is kind of a magician performing.
Very much.
Yep. And then we also have Michael Winslow. Are you familiar with Michael Winslow? Did you see Police Academy or Spaceball? Spaceballs. He does does voices.
Okay,
like
so
sound
he's like an
effects.
impressionist or something like that.
He's the noise guy from
Police
Police
does
Academy.
noises. So if you've ever seen Police Academy or Spaceballs, he's that guy. So he's very famous.
Okay, cool.
What's the statistics on what kind of act typically wins?
I like this question.
That's a good question. So it's kind of a mixture. So in the first 7 seasons, we had 6 singers.
Ooh.
And then we've had 3 ventriloquists.
3 ventriloquists.
Win. Yep. We've had a card magician win. One of them was a kid. Was she 11, 12, 14? I can't remember.
Still pretty young.
And
it's a large ish.
They don't know your ranking system for children sizes yet.
Medium to large.
Right. So Victory would be a medium, right?
Yeah, Victory is a full medium. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Do you know the story on the kid sizes, Jay?
No, I don't.
Basically, children are hard to know how old they are, right? Like if you don't have kids, like you have no reference point for how it's like, okay, are they walking? Are they in school? Right. So you group them small, medium, large.
Okay.
So like small is like they're not in school. Medium is like they're in school, but they're not like in high school. And then large is like, they talk back. They're teenagers.
Okay. All
And then
right.
you're a
Like
double.
that's
Aiden would be
easy.
a large. Aiden would be a large.
Aiden is a large for sure.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, that's easy. I can get behind
See,
that.
thank you, Jay. It makes sense.
I've got a medium and a schmedium sleeping upstairs. So.
Oh,
I like the
medium.
medium.
Yeah.
It's great.
Not quite a full medium.
Yeah, it's a schmedium.
Yeah.
I
Love it.
Oh boy.
So there's been a mixture over 15 seasons. There's been a mixture of different types of acts.
Mhm.
Okay. Very interesting.
Well, I'm rooting for you, Aiden. Bring it home. You got this.
Sweet. Well,
Okay.
where can people see you guys? Where can they hear your content and follow you?
Yeah. So you can always find us at SHIT 90s pod on Twitter and Instagram. We cover Boy Meets World and Dawson's Creek weekly, and then we do extra bonus content that's 90s movies. So we just covered Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. We're doing 10 Things I Hate About You later in the month. So if you're a fan of any 90s movies, we've done a bunch. Come and check us out. You can find me at Sara Fergenson. And like I said, SHIT 90s pod on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, and you can find me at the Jess Sterling on Twitter. I am also on the podcast Community Building. That is with Josh Wigler over at Post Show Recaps. We watch Community every week and discuss it. He's never seen it. I have. It's a great time. Go check that out too.
Are you all covering an episode this week? I know he's been on vacation.
He's been on vacation. We're coming back next week with the season 2 premiere. So very exciting. Best season of Community. Can't wait to get into it.
So you've made it through just the first season so far.
Yeah.
And now we're ready for the best season of Community. Then.
Exactly. And Josh liked season 1. So I'm prepared for him to love season 2.
All right. Well, I'm a big Josh Wigler fan. I fell in love with him when Rob did his rewatch with Josh Wigler. The first 30 seasons of Survivor. So
yes.
Yeah, evolution of strategy. Yes, absolutely.
So it was there's a lot of hours of watching and listening to Rob and Josh, but that's good stuff. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to join us. It's been a blast and a half for me. I really appreciate your insights. And we'll look forward to future opportunities to collaborate with you guys.
Absolutely.
Yes. So much fun. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, Cody, with nothing else, I'll stay safe, everybody.